Hello folks, I am back and I'm doing a comparison video between my two Legion firearms. But before I get to do that, I'm going to do a shout out to a few people, and also I want you to check out their channels. The first person is going to be She Fires. She is a Philadelphia native, my hometown, and she moved over to Florida. She has some pretty good content, and also uh, she's also into the martial arts. I think I mentioned her before. The next person is going to be, or persons, is going to be Ohio Gentleman Arms. This is a couple that does videos, shooting videos, and I guess that's in their on their property, and they really have some decent content. And the other one is going to be Mike Benson. Mike Benson is one of those guys that are really into 1911s. He's expanding on other firearms, and right now he's doing some videos on Shadow System, I believe, pistols. And two other channels that I'm really getting to like is Armed and Broken and Wheelchair Operator. They have some really good content. Some of their shooting videos are pretty good. So all of these people, some of them will have not a lot of videos, but yeah, go out and support them, like and subscribe to them. Now back to my video. We're going to talk about the Legion pistols, and this came up because of I was on another YouTube's conversating in another on another YouTube video, and a guy named John Lovelace asked me a question about he wanted to compare the 6-hour P320 Legion X5 versus the P226 Legion SAO. And he wanted a comparison between both of these firearms. And the funny part is I never shot these two firearms together at the same time. So when I went to the range, I've noticed a few similarities between both of them. Mostly it is the grip and how high up you can get with both of these firearms. Now, this firearm here, the SAO, it feels good in the hand, and I'm old school, so I'm a big fan of the P226 line of firearms. So I really like the way those firearms have come about throughout the years. The Navy SEALs, certain other units or police departments use them. So I'm a big fan of those. Now we all know about the Legion X5. Now the Legion X5 is one of those competition firearms, and what's similar is the grip right here. They're kind of similar to each other, the way they feel in the hand. I'm going to say this might be a little bit girthy compared to this one, and they have some similarities if you look closely when you're looking at that undercut right here on both of them. Both of them have that undercut right there. Can't do this, but the undercut right here, this is a little more pronounced. You could feel it a little more on the SAO. And you have this one right here. So this, as you know, is made out of tungsten material. And this tungsten material feels really good, but it's so reminiscent of the SAO. So I'm going to read off some specs, and these specs I got from the 6-hour website, and which is pretty interesting. The specs are not too far off from each other. Overall length on both of these. Let's start with the SAO. It's going to be 8 inches overall length here, and then on the Legion, overall length is 8.5. Not that much of a difference. Overall width, this is going to be 1.7 on this, and you're going to see on the X5, it's going to be 1.6. Now that's kind of got me 1.6, 1. And I could tell there is a little smoothness between here and here. It's kind of reminiscent of a 1911, but this is a little girthier, not by much, because it reminds me of more like a nice palm swell. As far as the height is concerned, the height is going to be 5.5 on the SAO, and we're going to probably attribute that to me. It has a higher borax, and this is going to be 5.5 inches. Excuse me, this is 5.5 and this is 5.8 inches. And I said that wrong, so I'm going to reverse that, start that over. So the Legion is going to be 5.8 and this is going to be 5.5. Now, for some reason, this borax seems like it's a little higher for some reason. Maybe it's just me. The barrel length on the SAO is going to be 4.4 inches. 4.4 inches on that barrel length from here to here. On the Legion, it's going to be 5 inches from here to here. Let's go with the sight radius. Let's start with the SAO. Sight radius is going to be 6.3 right here. And right here, it's going to be on the X5, it's going to be 6.8. So that's your sight radius right there. To me, it seems a little longer, but like I said, it might be an illusion because they're not that far off. We know that the SAO has a aluminum frame, and this one is going to have that space age tungsten frame right here. Let's go with they both have stainless steel slides. Both of them do have that. This one, of course, you are going to notice, obviously, with the cuts right here. And what's interesting is when you look at both of the finishes, they have what they call, now on this one, I believe this was made a little bit afterwards. They tried to use a different type of finish on here, and I think they went with like a PVD finish. And let me see if this is the one with the PVD finish. So they noticed that certain scratches were coming up on that, and then they went to a Cerakote, which was a little bit more durable, because on my other Legion, some of my finishes appear green on camera. So that's the difference because of the Cerakote finish. This one here, this is probably, I do not know for certain what the finish is. I believe it might be PVD. You're going to have to let me know. But like I said, on my other Legions, it appears green, and I know that is the Cerakote version. And what is also different is the weight. This is the only thing that's going to separate them only by 9 ounces. 9 ounces. With this, because it has the alloy frame, it's going to be 34 ounces. This one right here, because of the tungsten frame, also there's an internal weight inside. And I forgot to let you know that these firearms are safe, so nobody would be upset about this. But there is an internal weight inside. I don't know if you can see that, but the weight, you can see it's right here, that little piece. Not this, but that little piece there. There is another additional weight, and I like to put these weights in even with the my regular P320 lines. I like, because I want a little bit more weight. With this one, it's going to be the alloy frame, and of course, this one is safe as well. Like I said, I forgot to show you that both of these firearms were safe in the beginning of the video, but who's counting at this point? It's already done. So the alloy frame makes this a little bit more carryable, but it's still a weighty firearm at that. So, like I said, the weight is probably the only thing that's going to be the biggest thing between both of them. One of the other things that I've noticed, I can say is when these came out, they came out with the flat trigger. The flat trigger on these SAOs pretty much help with this, because this is a single action only. I love that finger placement right here. there is a bit of take up right here. You can see how much of a take up is there, but it's at a wall right there. Right there. I don't mind that take up. Some people might complain about it, but I like the take up, and you just pull back, and there it goes. The hammer drops down. So the reset is right there. That little bit, a click right there. Really nice reset. Now, like I said, I mentioned that this one has a flat trigger. Well, the Legion also has a flat trigger. Now, one of the different things is with this particular flat trigger is this skeletonized is supposed to be an upgraded trigger. And I'm going to rack this. That's all the take up you have right here. You pull the trigger, little mush, and bang. Rack it. You let that trigger reset, and it's right there. And then that's all it is to it. Now, I guess John Lovelace wanted me to do a comparison video on this because I think he's trying to decide which one of these firearms that he would want to purchase. I'm going to say I like them both, so I'm a little partial to the 226 because I've always loved the 226 line of firearms, and especially this is in SAO because he's looking at an SAO. I would say these are pretty much hard to find depending on where your locale is, but these are pretty much popping up here and there. So you might have better luck finding a X5 Legion than you are with the single action only Legion right here. I think they're both comparable. I think they're very accurate. Both of them are. And I'm going to show you, I didn't have the actual target. It got destroyed, unfortunately. But just as an example, when I shot this one, the SAO, because of what I'm used to in shooting it, I tend to aim low. So I try to aim a little bit higher so I don't run my sights across. I run it a little bit higher so I can hit within the black. So my shots at 10 to 15 yards, they first come up here, and then I had to just lower it a little bit. I still wasn't down in the center here, but I was in this area because my first shots were really up high. So that's human error on my part. Now let's talk about the Legion X5. Now, I hit dead on in here. The group is about on both 10 and 15 yards. The group's right there. Perfect right in the center. When I stretched it out to 20 yards, then things started changing a bit. I was, again, it was high, but it was about this wide, I would say, on the SAO. And on the Legion, and I'm going to expand it a little bit, somewhere like that at 20 because of my eyesight. So on the Legion, it still stayed in a tight pattern. So I was still eating up the paper, and it was still a tight pattern. So judging by what I just explained there, it's pretty much, to me, a toss-up. It depends on what you like to shoot and how you like to shoot those firearms. Like I said, I'm in love with the 226 line of firearms, so I'm a little partial, but for a striker firearm, this is pretty hard to beat. I love the Legion version of the P320 line. I liked it better than all the other striker firearms. Now, there are some striker firearms that I have in my collection that I do like. I think they shoot very well, but when you're just doing, let's say, target shooting, you're going to have to go with this. Other than that, I hope this comparison, people liked what you saw in this comparison. So if you have any questions or you want to offer your opinions, which one you would prefer between the X5 and the SAO, put it down in the comments. So with that, I'm going to close the video out with happy shooting, stay safe, #2A.